Hey everyone, welcome back to Linguist Rising. If you've ever walked into a classroom as a substitute teacher, you know that moment. The door closes behind you, students are talking, someone's already out of their seat. You're thinking, okay, how is this day going to go? I've learned that the day is often decided in the first few minutes.
The outcome of your day? It almost always comes down to communication. It's not magic, it's about language, it's about presence, and it's about having a clear plan.
And this is the absolute truth. It is a core principle of classroom management. See, a lot of people think control is about being the loudest person in the room. It's not. It's about being the most grounded. Your nonverbal cues, your body language, they set a calm, predictable tone from the very moment you walk in.
Students pick up on energy instantly. When you walk in confidently, introduce yourself clearly, and take a moment to settle the room, you're already setting the tone that you're in charge and that you're fair. One thing I always do is say expectations out loud, even if the students technically already know them. I'll explain how I want their attention, what's okay and what's not, and what happens if expectations aren't followed. It sounds simple, but clarity prevents so many problems. A lot of behavior issues come from uncertainty, not defiance.
The most critical step, the real game changer, is that last one, stating your expectations out loud. This is so much more than just a list of rules. It's a powerful linguistic act. You are literally using your words to create the social structure for the entire day.
And that clarity is key because it removes all the ambiguity. You know, most behavior issues don't actually come from outright defiance. They come from students just testing the boundaries of a situation they're not sure about. By providing a clear linguistic map, here's how we'll get my attention, this is what we'll do when you're finished, you create a predictable and, frankly, a safe environment for everybody.
I also try to learn a few names as early as possible. I don't need to know everyone, but calling a student by name changes everything. It builds accountability, and it shows them that I'm paying attention. You stop being just the sub and start being a real person in the room. Another huge lesson I've learned is that downtime is dangerous.
This is why keeping them engaged isn't just about teaching the lesson, it is your single most effective classroom management tool. An engaged mind simply has no time for mischief.
And this is exactly why you must have simple, language-based tasks ready to go at a moment's notice. The lesson plan ends 10 minutes early? Pull out a journaling prompt. The smartboard isn't working? No problem. Let's shift to a vocabulary review. These aren't just time fillers. They are essential for maintaining the productive, structured environment you work so hard to create.
The more unstructured time students have, the harder the class becomes to manage. I always have something ready. Silent reading, writing, journaling, or even a simple language-based task like vocabulary review. When students are engaged, they're calmer, and the room just runs better.
Learn 3 student names as quickly as you possibly can. The shift from an impersonal thanks to a personal thank you, Maria, fundamentally changes the entire dynamic of the room. You've moved from a generic address to a specific one, and that signals that you see them as individuals. This simple act builds instant accountability and respect. You stop being the sub and you start being a person.
Of course, even with a great start and solid engagement, students will test boundaries. Let's be honest, it's kind of part of their job description. How you respond in these moments is absolutely critical, and it is all about consistency, not intensity. The difference in communication styles here is everything. An emotional reaction, well, that's a conversational turn that invites a reply. It escalates things into a power struggle. A calm, consistent response, on the other hand, closes the communication loop. You state the expectation one time, you follow through calmly, and then you linguistically and physically move on. It shows the boundary is firm and it is not open for negotiation. At the end of the day, steadiness is your superpower. It communicates confidence and fairness way more effectively than a raised voice ever could. Just be a rock, and after you've held that line, you can re-engage with a bit of humor or a quick question to show there are no hard feelings. You're simply maintaining the structure. A strong finish reinforces the very structure you've maintained all day. Give clear step-by-step instructions for cleanup. Build in time for it. Dismiss the students calmly, not in some chaotic rush for the door. And finally, leave detailed, helpful notes for the teacher. This is your final act of professional communication, and it shows respect for your colleague and for the student. So here's the main takeaway. It's not about being perfect. You don't have to be the most entertaining or brilliant substitute teacher in the world. You just have to be clear, consistent, and respectful. These are all communication skills. You build a structure with your words and your actions, and that structure is what leads to a successful day.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Your goal isn't just to survive the day. It's to be a steady, calming presence. So what's one small, steady action you can commit to next time you're in the classroom? because it's those small, deliberate linguistic choices that create the biggest results. Thanks for tuning in. If this was helpful, please like the video, subscribe to Linguist Rising, and we'll see you in the next